Ladies and gentlemen, DFTV Network proudly present the Comedy Vineyards, the host, comedian Edwin Douglas.
All right, welcome to Behind Your Mic. I am your host, comedian Edwin Douglas. I gave you guys my word on the introduction special episode that we have taken place right here, Behind Your Mic. I told you guys I'm going to give God His name and His praise first. Lord, I want to thank you for giving me a breath to breathe and a mind to think, strength in my eyes to see, and a voice to speak, and a sound in my ears to hear, and the blood of Jesus. You heard me? Now we got that out the way. Guess what? I got my boys in the house. That's right, the Comedy Vineyard, the creator himself, Marvelous Milton Smith, and also the very funny man, comedian Mr. Motivator. Oh yeah, when we take this break, we come back, we're gonna talk to the creator. Don't you go nowhere, because I'm gonna get my jam on, do my little popcorn. You heard me? Come back. I'm gonna talk to the creator himself.
Walking into a fantastic clean office. Or coming home to a fantastic clean home. Hi, my name is LaMonica, CEO and founder of Fantastic Four Cleaning Services, providing fantastic services for you because that's what we aim to do. Give me a call at the office at 469-730-3054.
Have you ever had a question related to child support, divorce, CPS? Call the Attorney General or maybe an attorney and they just gave you a runaround? Where do you go to get help? Contact Dads Fathers of Texas. Yes, they are child support specialists. Dads Fathers of Texas can answer your question, help file paperwork, and help find a family law attorney. Dads Fathers of Texas, making child support simple.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your love for comedian Marvelous Milton Smith. Thank you. As y'all may can tell here, I've got my Special Olympics button on. I work with special need kids, and one of the things we got impedance, where we at. I work with special need kids, and I just want to let you know that I believe in miracles, because my nephew was 18 when he enrolled in a 2-year program at Texas State Technical College. 2-year program. The school only went to 2 years, now it goes to 4. Just recently, he graduated, and he's 27.
They told me about those.
No, first, don't get hysterical. Now, after 2 years, I said, wow, if he ain't graduated, it's been 2 years. My wife said, leave him alone. Year 4, hey, you haven't graduated? Leave him alone. Year 5, the school said that's enough. And here's what we know about love. Love kicked all up in, because I was so mad about it taking so long, but all of a sudden I said, no you won't. I wrote a serious letter, carbon copy to an attorney, and they brought him back. 4 years later, he graduated.
All right, I'm sure you guys enjoyed that clip of the one and only Marvelous Milton Smith. Hey, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Hey, yes. Now, a lot of people don't understand why they call you Marvelous Milton Smith. Where did the name come from?
Okay, well, I really started doing comedy out of my frustration of every time I would go to a talent show growing up, they would always give the trophy to the singer, you know. And I thought that there's must
Wait a minute, to the singer.
to the singer, the vocal. They would always get, you know, and there was this particular little girl in my hometown from Waco, and she would come out there. Did you see that Whitney Houston video of The Greatest Love of All, where they pushed the parent pushed the little girl out there? This was the case going on. This little girl would go out there singing something beautiful. First time I said, beautiful.
Okay.
Next talent show, beautiful. Same girl, same. So there's got to be more to entertainment than singing a song, and that was motivation of me doing my comedy, and that is since '75. That whole competition with the vocalists, you know, they get their money for nothing and they chicks for free. You know, I've been competing with them as a stand-up comedian, and
So ever since then,
ever
it's
since
Marvelous Milton Smith.
it's been Marvelous Milton Smith, and the first show I ever did was Marvelous Milton Smith back from the projects, and I won first place, beat that little girl out.
Oh, in Waco, same little
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So when your family hears your name, because you're from Waco, how much love do they really give you every time you do a comedy show?
Oh, I get much love for the fact, but more than anything, they shut their mouths up a little bit because they think every time I'm like at family reunions, holiday, Thanksgiving stuff, people say, you know, he's trying to. I'm mining for material.
Now, you know what? Do you remember when we first met?
Yeah, they're at West Texas A&M, and now it was West Texas State then, but West Texas A&M, you're a Kappa, I'm an Omega. But I was in grad school, and I was, you know, and I was back to school getting. I had come from the Army, and so I had flunked grad school prior to, because I was partying, doing a lot of what I saw you guys doing, you know.
But you remember where you and I met, what we were doing? Like, you know, your house right here.
Right.
Our house right here.
Right.
What was I doing when we first met? You remember that?
Is that public now?
I mean, you know, I'm grown.
Okay, I'm saying, but
Just don't say no curse words, you know.
No, I'm just saying that I thought that I appreciate that you reached out. I was standoffish, you know, but you reached out and invited me over to where. Okay, I go over and have a drink, and I saw a young man that was so traumatized. He had a heart murmur thing on. He been on it, you know, and it's in the middle of the day. And I said, wait, how old are you? He said, I'm 19. Well, what's
Got forward in his heart.
Yeah. Well, he been play. What's up with that? And he say his girlfriend name. I'm like, it's somebody. He don't know who it is, but it's somebody. I said, no, wait a minute. So your girl, so you all plugged up just because behind a girlfriend? And then when they run me out of there, because I said, look here, do you have a girlfriend? I pointed one up at there. I said, yeah, I have a girlfriend. Where is she? Well, my girl is back in some other town. While you not there, your girl have another boyfriend. And they run me off of it. But to my surprise, though, you came back to talk to me and to say that, you know, he would look, he know who he was looking for, but for real, he should be looking for you.
For those our folks don't know, man, Milton, we go a long way back. Like he said, he's an Omega Psi Phi, and I'm Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and there's much love. We call ourselves comedy buddies. But here, another thing I want to ask you, when we reconnected here in Dallas, when I was down at Palm Beach from Deep Ellum.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, that was City Place. That was City Place,
Right.
downtown, and you had a hard time trying to get in with her. Tell them what happened.
Well, you know, I hadn't done comedy in a while, but I had seen you do something before we even before City Play, and I thought that I found that funny. It's hard for me to laugh because I steal jokes, you know. So most times if I'm listening to a joke, look, I'm going. If it's a good joke, I'm stealing it, you know. But you had got me to invited me and my uncle to City. I brought my uncle with me to City Place, and it was a good show. The comedian there, Gerald Young.
Right.
You know Gerald Young. I ain't seen Gerald in a while, and he had.
Right.
I used one of his jokes on my album. Yeah, sorry, Gerald. You know, I gotta give you credit now for what Joe had to. But y'all, that was a good show, and then when you moved to Palm Beach Club, Doug is a lot of people don't realize Doug is he's good at stand-up, wonderful at stand-up, but he's also a producer, and he's produced a lot of shows, and he's opened a lot of doors for a lot of comedians and stuff. And so what I was trying to explain to my wife, she said, so how many minutes do you get? I said, I get 3 minutes, honey. 3. And she said, now, and you had to have a new suit? And I got to get my manicure and pedicure on. All that. For how many minutes? 3 minutes. You know?
You and the lovely wife have been very supportive.
Thank you. My wife, Sammy.
Of you. Your family has been very supportive of you. Also, you and the Waco family welcome me in.
Oh yeah, we've done some shows there at Waco.
And the place at the Nelson.
At Nelson,
At Waco.
right?
You know, at Nelson, man. And man, you know, first time you gave me the invitation to Nelson in Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
You know, we had the DJ, the late DJ Don Juan Country Mac.
Right.
You know, and man, we had a good time, man. And see, back then we were doing high party comedy, and then we had a dance, the after party.
Right. Yeah.
BYOB, and ever since then, man, we just got closer and closer and continue to do the things that we're doing today. And I just want to take the time out to appreciate you, to welcome me in the Waco family.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I got to bring this up. You got to tell them. I already know the story about when you was on the sideline for WT, our alumni. Tell them what happened with, for homecoming,
Okay. Well, like you said, I went to college on an athletic scholarship. And to me, I'm all world. And then, but when I get there, my whole experience, a lot of my comedy, they invite me on as a record holder of riding the bench in a college football uniform. And
hold on, I don't think they really. He said record holder.
Right, record holder.
He said riding the bench, but after he was sitting on the bench. For those who don't know the sport, football. Okay, go ahead.
Don't get in the game. So I hold the record in there. Now that was a movie, Rudy.
Rudy. Okay.
Rudy. And you remember? I think Rudy got in on the last minute and a half of the game, and Rudy, Larry compared to the time I got in the game. But except. There was one time we went to. I never made a trip.
What do you do when the team go on a trip? What would you be doing?
I'd be back at the dome. Matter of fact, when UTA used to have a team, UTA was playing WT, and the Smiths in Waco said, "Last Smith get the light." And they get to the game, and they said, "Where's Milton?" back at the dump. Is he hurt? No, ain't nothing wrong with it.
So your whole family come to the game, my homecoming. Last game? Was it last game?
No. We play. Oh, you talking about it? Okay, we play a homecoming game at WT, and then here's what the coach says. Say, look here, this week is homecoming. Now everybody will suit up for homecoming. We had 104 players. They say, however, some of y'all will have to wear the same number. We don't have enough jerseys. Mr. Smith and Koblansky will both be wearing 88. So I have a strategy twofold. I'm not gonna get in the game, but me and Koblansky wearing the same number.
Trying to impress the family.
So what I did, all I said, well, I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break the paper, and then they get on the news. So I had to break the paper strap, but I got the folk up there in the stands, and they came all the way to Canyon from Waco. That's a long drive. So I'm like, game going. Next thing you hear the announcer say, because the player, he knew my game was better than his anyhow. But these players, they got a lot more power now than they did. You saw where the kids at Missouri say, well, if y'all don't join the fight with us, we ain't gonna play a game. And it cost the chancellor and, a lot of power. But on this particular day, I told the player, look, he knew this, Doug. I said, look, Coach told me to go in for you. Coach told me to go in for you. So then, folk up there. So next thing in the play, he just surely who would go up there and do what I did? Coach, I hadn't talked with Coach, but I'm telling him, Coach told me to go in for you. And then all of a sudden, I said, number 88, the other one, Milt Smith checking in. I run out there on the field, I get out there, I block, and then, I made that one. That was the play I did in college. Pulled me out the game, and but some,
Wait a minute. So we ran out there.
Yeah.
And everybody in the huddle.
Yeah.
I know they looked at you, man.
Milt, what you doing? He did.
What we're gonna do is, y'all be going. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, what we're gonna do is go deeper into your life, things that people need to know about how wonderful Mr. Marcus is. We'll take a break right here.
Thank you.
If you've been into an automobile accident, I'm sure you're worried about medical bills, lost wages, and getting real compensation for your pain and suffering. But relax, I got you. I'm attorney Roderick White, and I've been fighting insurance companies since 2002. It's what I do, it's all I do. Never settle for less. Call us at 214 or 817-I-GOT YOU. That's 214 or 817-446-8968.
All right, we're back here on Behind Your Mic. Yes, I am your host, comedian Edmund Douglas. Milton, man, you had me laugh like give me a bottle of water, man. We could, so many things we could talk about. There's great men in your fraternity like Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, Tom Joyner. There's many great men part of Mega South 5 and yourself. What I consider you guys some good men.
Thank you.
You had an opportunity to share the same thing like Bill Cosby. When you hear the name Bill Cosby, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Just share something with us.
Well, as I see as comedic greatness and legend in Bill Cosby, in the sense that if you listen to, I'm a student of the game, not only a performer, but I teach comedy, and in teaching, you learn. That's the value of being a comedian, is being able to grow and do your craft. And so a lot of times I learn by deconstructing the craft. So as a tactician, as a comedian, his chops are phenomenal. So he's great. And we had an opportunity. He came and performed at West Texas. I made a beautiful plaque I sent it down the road because I was coming the next day after he performed, and the brothers were meeting with him, sharing with him, and all of a sudden we didn't have money to go to the show. They were happy with being able to
line up for free stuff.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But they took the picture with him. And all of a sudden he asked, well, y'all coming to the show, right? And they all got it. Oh, no. And there was a front row, the people on the front row, they had them, he pushed all of them back and said, I want my brothers to be up with me. So he was kind enough to let the brothers enjoy the show with their families up front. Wow. And it was an excellent performance. So I'm always appreciative of the skills that he brings to the table as a comedian. He's top shelf.
Do you remember you gave me a book to read? Now you love to read books.
Love to read.
And you gave me a book. You gave me a name and information. Doug, you can take this book right here, and it can really help you out. I know, man, I took your advice, and once again, Milton, I'm saying from the bottom of my heart, I have to keep thanking you, man, because you're good with the book. I always try to be one to try to do it my way, but I took the time out to listen to it. And I guess that made it come common buddy. You
Yeah,
know, and no one understands where we came from and what we are today. And people are always gonna be on the outside trying to figure out what's really going on inside, but you know the real deal. And I know the real deal, man. I want to say thank you, man. I'm always, because I get no credit, regardless if I'm getting better, I'm always look back where it started. Nobody else, but you did.
Oh, thank you.
You did. So let me ask you this. If we go to your car right now and put on a CD, what's inside the car in the CD player?
Well, you know, you'll hear a lot of me. If it's in my car, we do hear a lot of me. You know, and my wife gets you always think, but as a comedian, you know, we tell our truth. But I'm also I like the technology has changed about where I have audio books. I listen to Greg Dean's book, Step by Step, the stand-up comedy, especially when I'm getting close to doing a show. So I'm gonna do a show perhaps on January the 1st in Longview. So by then I sort of warm up to learn all of those skills, those necessary skills that you need. It's almost like as a football player, I would work on certain techniques, and then by the time it's showtime, all those things are built in, you know. And so I just finished listening to Greg Dean's book. I'm rereading Judy Carter's book, The Comedy Bible, a lot of the techniques that they talk about. So, and then by being you and I, the good thing, if you are a performing comedian, you're a working comedian, you need to have a comedy buddy, someone you can bounce that idea off. And what I share with folks is that I've been doing comedy since '75.
And folks who watch it, the book that he's speaking of, he did name it, The Comedy Bible.
By Judy Carter, yeah.
So for those that you're trying to become a motivational speaker or stand-up comedian, you can also read The Comedy Bible in his book. Now, let me ask you this. Who are some of your favorite stand-up comedians that you look up to?
Yeah. Well, like I said, what I would, and the base of what the Comedy Vineyards is about is that, you know, my favorite with all, I don't know if I say all time, you know, I love me some me. Okay. However, you know, I'm thankful to Judy Carter's, she does, but I'm thankful to her, but I've watched people like Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, Steve Allen, Red Skelton, also people like any performing comedian. I'm all for it because we're on the spectrum of how we are growing and staying in this game. And what you notice a lot of times that these comedians, the great ones, they stay in it for a long time. So you know the key to your success is all like I wear this turtle shirt is by putting one foot in front of the other, and over time you should improve and get better.
Okay. Now that's pretty interesting. You know, a lot of people don't know there have been some big names from Waco, like High Five, Music Group. So Waco ain't just
Steve Martin.
A lot of people don't know Steve Martin from Waco. Now, when you were growing up as a kid or during your childhood, what are some of the difficulties that you had to overcome or had to go through?
Well, and a lot of times, and that's what they say for comedians. I share with you have to tell your truth. And so, and I'm an educator now, but the truth of the matter is that I grew up wanting to spend more time with my dad. My dad used to live across the street from me, and I didn't understand at the time that how painful that was for me. You know, I didn't realize about it. So they had me in a special needs class, and I work with special needs kids now, and I think that I have an opportunity to work with special needs kids who had the same problem that I had. You know, it had nothing to do with my intelligence while I was in special ed, but I did have some emotional issues. And when hindsight, I realized that it was because my father lived across the street from me, and I would, with a father, more than anything, you know, we spell love, T-I-M-E. So I know that is in my makeup, and I share, if you allow me, I share this with you. A poem I wrote called 3 Dads. It's like this. It says, Three Dads by Milton Smith. It said, his pain is like a fine wine. It's not that bad. His is the neighbor. His is the father. His neighbor says she never had. His pain is a sore. It won't heal. It's a shame. He's the child whose father refuses to claim. And then the last one, his pain is like a TV rerun. It never ends. Mama never said who Daddy was. When she finally did, Daddy was dead. You know, and I share this. You know, a lot of times I try to tell a young man. I work with special need kids now, and then I'm trying to let them know that they're with me not because of their intelligence, but what's emotionally going on. But all of us are dealt a hand here, and it depends on how we play it. And when I say like what the comedy vineyards and as a comedian do, if you look at Jimmy Valvano, the special they talk about where on his death, while he's facing death, the one thing he encouraged anyone to do, he said, you should laugh.
Wow.
And so
I know I saw that.
he said you should laugh, and as a performer, I do that. I use that humor with these kids to let them to help them overcome some of those challenges. Then he said you should think, give that all that thought. As an educator, I use these tools. I want to encourage them to laugh, to think. And then the last one, to cry. And if you have all that, you've lived a whole full day. And that's what I bring to the table as an educator. And quite naturally, also, where I do at school, they allow me to teach comedy. So it's...
Wait a minute, hold on. You know what? When you told me that, man, wait a minute, hold on. I said, how many classes? Because when you called me and told me, I said, wait a minute, I said, how many classes? And what? 4, 5, 6, 7 classes of comedy?
Yeah,
and you're the only one to be able to teach that in any public school in the United States of America.
Well, now I did do it with Greenville Independent School District this summer. They allowed me to.
But you were the first.
I don't know too many other
Really?
people.
But were you the first?
That I know of.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because that was so fun. I thought, wait a minute, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how
pay me
to get pay you as the kids. The kids ain't learn nothing but learn how to laugh.
Oh yeah, I do. And so we'll worry about it. Then they put the pressure on. We gotta have a showcase. I said, well, okay, I tell you what you do. We're gonna get some cue cards. I get all these kids. We write help them with their joke, put it up on cue card, put a show on for them. And they learn the skills of how to joke structure, and the other thing is that they learn to laugh.
So what was the name of that class? Like for example,
Comedy
you had
Club.
math, you had English,
Comedy
you had
Club.
gym.
Comedy Club.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, oh yeah. And you get a chance to, like I say, you get an opportunity. Also, we get a chance to teach them interpersonal communication as a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
You're on your own, even if someone writes your material for you. And this what I share with them. You can't float along on the momentum of a series of songs as do vocalists. But living a sense from joke to joke, routine to routine. You can succeed for 15 minutes as a comedian, have folk eating out the palm of your hand. Then 3-week jokes, a loss of time, distraction off stage, and you'll wish you were a vocalist floating along on the momentum.
They don't know. I know they don't know.
A series of songs. But hear what they say. But the ability to surmount such awkwardness can only come with experience. So I encourage. And that's what the By Comedy Vineyard is about. It's on that spectrum of the comedic greats of all past. And I consider myself a comedic great. Like if you say my frat brother, I have never met an Omega man that is more Omega man than me. Never.
I ain't gonna argue with that.
I've never met. I've never met that. I'll look in the camera and tell whatever Omega man out there, whoever you are, you know more Q than me. I don't believe it.
Let me ask you this. Yeah.
And I'll share this last thing, bro. I'm gonna make sure you understand that I just talked, that y'all understand it. I want them to understand.
Man, we can sit here and talk all day. We got the crazy stuff we can talk about. This brother here, man, he's so phenomenal to be around, man. We got.
Well, I appreciate it.
You remember when we were going to Amarillo? Now I ain't gonna go in deep detail, and I was driving the truck, and we got pulled up by the police, man. We find a way to con the police officer, man. We talking about 287, man.
Do a show.
Oh, man.
Get into that.
You got him on one side of the truck. I'm on the other side. So they spread it out. I'm like, hey, you know.
It's a different day, man.
It's a different day, man.
You can ride down that highway. You remember when it was 55? You go to when it was 55 mile an hour, about to go to sleep. Now you can go. I don't want to go faster than what they allow now. 75. I'm scared to go in my truck. 75 now. 80. And people going 80. So if you need to go faster than 80 miles an hour to get where you gotta go, get out of your. We want to get out of your way and let you get there.
Let me ask you this. What is the last thing you want to say, man, that if they came to see Marvelous Milton Smith, so got 10 seconds, what one word, tell me one word when they think of Marvelous Milton Smith, just one word. The funniest. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it, he said the funniest. Marvelous Milton Smith. Thank you for coming, man. We're going back on the show.
Okay.
But we got to catch up with our other buddy, the common vendor.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Peace.
SBA Investor Ready Business Plans, written in 21 days. McDaniel Consulting is recognized as being business plan writer since 2001. Dallas Morning News, New York Times Magazine, and Women's Day Magazine attest to these facts. Business plans, 214-349-6564. That's 214-349-6564 or www.mcbusinessplans.com.
No millionaire doesn't have humble beginnings. And it started back with me having a good attitude about my upbringing. Now I go to stores, I see kids in Walmart, cutting up crying, "Mama, I want that new Nintendo game. It's only $4,962. I'm gonna hold my breath till I turn blue." Can you imagine what would happen if I told my mother I would hold my breath till I turn blue? She said, "Well, when you get through turning blue, I got something for you over here." But we have to teach our children how to use their imagination. We got kids now that they're driving and they're texting and playing with their phones. They're riding bicycles. They're walking across busy intersections and they're down looking at their phones. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's great to learn how to use your creativity. We didn't have iPhones and have all the fancy stuff, but you know what? We learned to use our imagination. One day I looked over and there was a stick in the yard. You know what? I grabbed that stick and that stick became a horse. And I became a cowboy. Riding on cowboy. And I visualized riding all over the place with my horse. But it was only a stick. You see, so we gotta learn how to appreciate things. Now, in the first grade, it was me and my two best friends, Biggin Youngblood and Popeye Hill. Now, Biggin was 6 feet and 5 inches tall in the first grade, and he had kind of a heavy voice. And I said, "Hey, Biggin, what's going on?" Hey, Biggin, what's up with you? Okay. Now, Popeye was a guy, he's about my height, he was a short guy, but Popeye was cool. He wore his little cap all the time, and when everybody would say, "Hey, Popeye, how you doing?" Popeye would go, "Hey, what's up, man?" What it is.
All right, we're back again right here behind your mic. Once again, I'm the boy, comedian Edwin Douglas. I'm sure you enjoy that clip. And guess who I have sitting at the table with me? That's right, comedian Mr. Motivator. What's up, boy?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right, man?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Man, you know, after talking with Milton, and then thinking about all of us together,
Yes.
we got something special here. And what a lot of people don't know, I have a long-time relationship with you. Not only I went to West Texas State back then, also we both went to George Christian College.
That's right.
Yeah, in Harlan, Texas, near your hometown.
Yes.
You know, I love the country down there. You know,
Yeah.
we got towns like Tyler, Longview, Pittsburgh, Texas, or your hometown, along with John Matthews, Gilman, Texas.
That's right.
So when people say they're going to Gilman, tell us what's going on in Gilman, or tell us what happened in Gilman. Tell us what Gilman is made of.
Well, Gilbert is just basically a family town, a family city.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear the word Gilbert, you think about the East Texas Jamboree. And a lot of people like hot links and so Gilbert.
Wait a minute, hold on, man. Y'all hot and eating food down there.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all be doing us hot links.
Oh yeah, you see how?
How y'all cook it?
Uh-huh.
How y'all cook y'all hot links?
Oh, they come out the processor, they're grilled.
No.
They're grilled links.
Okay.
And then when they give you the crackers and give you the special chili or the ketchup with, and look, you see how smooth my lips are? Don't you? They used to do it for you every time.
Oh man, yeah, that's why I put the comment vineyard. This is us here. This is us here. Your name is the White Chef,
Yes.
and a lot of people don't know you've done a lot of great things just for people and kids. They don't know that you're not only a comedian, but you're also a former civil engineer, sales executive, counselor, educator. How are you able to bring all those titles together and also be known as an author? How do you work those titles on an everyday basis?
Well, I think it's just a process of life, just being out there and doing things. And the kids particularly kind of brought it out of me because when I first started teaching, they put me in Dallas, Texas, in South Dallas. And they made me a principal over an alternative school in South Dallas.
Okay.
And they gave me Bebe's kids.
Baby kids.
Yes, and those kids bought out everything.
Okay.
Because they wanted someone to excel in their classes. Some wanted to find a way to terminate the classes.
Okay,
So
okay.
it allowed me to pull in from the different areas of my life, my upbringing, my different careers, and I used everything that I had to motivate those kids.
Okay.
And the kids enjoyed me. For some reason, they would listen to me, but they loved the way I talk. They said, "Mr. Jeffrey, he makes us laugh." And so by the way I talked, but yet they saw I was serious.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think that really helped me to discover.
So is that how you came up with the name comedian Mr. Motivator? Did they
Yes.
give it to you, or you just took it and put it on yourself?
The kids started calling me Mr. Motivator because I was working at one time as a special teams coach.
Okay.
And when the kids would get beat pretty bad during the first half of the game, when they went into the locker room, they were really down. So the coaches would say, "Hey, somebody needs to talk to y'all. Mr. Jeffrey, Coach Jeffrey, come up here."
Right.
And I start talking to them, and then the kids said, "We feel better now," and they go out and play harder. And they actually won a few games. And so the kids say, "Mr. Jeffrey motivates us." And then the kids started calling me demotivated, and they started calling me Mr. Motivated. So the coaches stopped calling me Coach Jeffrey or Mr. Jeffrey. They said, "Mr. Motivated, come in here."
Cool.
And that's how my name started.
Now, the book I have here in my hand, Success is an Attitude. And I want to talk about this book here. And I looked inside the book. I'm going to ask you a couple of things and that kind of motivate me already. You know,
Yes, sir.
like you have one chapter on, is your attitude good or bad?
Yes.
How you come up with that?
Well, everything in life has a lot to do with your attitude. If you look at the cameraman when he's dealing with his models, he'll have them to pose, okay, pose this way, that way. Now give me some attitude.
Okay.
When people put attitude into it changes their whole perspective on things.
Okay.
And when you have an attitude for learning, you have an attitude for wanting to get somewhere in life, it gives you the motivation that you need, because basically motivation is a spirit of action.
So is that the same thing if I have an attitude I'm about to whoop somebody?
Oh yeah, you got an attitude that, hey, I'm tired of being picked up. Hey, I had to deal with that in school. I dealt
Do
with
you have that in your book?
school.
Can I find that in your book?
I have a little bit of everything in my book, personal experiences, where I let myself get knocked down because my attitude was not strong enough.
Okay. How about this one here?
Yes.
Do you have a dream or vision?
Yes. Okay, that's when you know you want to do something in life. But sometimes you get around people who are negative.
Mhm.
And because your attitude is not strong enough, those people can convince you to give up on what you really want to do. And I've seen it happen with family members. I've seen it happen with students, a lot of professionals. They know they have something that's unique.
Wow.
And something that's special. But they let someone come in and tell them, I don't think you're going to make it. You just don't seem to have what it takes.
Wow.
And, you know, we just don't feel like you're part, you can really help us with this organization. And I say, hey, you don't dictate to me what I want to do in life. I grew up in the country. I learned, yes, I had an attitude because I wanted to be on TV. So I took the corn cobs, I took the sticks, I took cucumbers and made them microphones. And I said, hey, you hear me? This is Mr. Motivated. I'm talking to all you famous folks out there. And you can have my autograph if you stay after the show. But so I began to use my creativity to keep me fueled in life.
You know, you got some very interesting chapters in this content.
Yes.
Like this one here, you need a plan and a strategy. Your image is important. Oh man, I'm telling y'all need to get this book here. Because I know all this, but when you find someone, become an author, and write about this, something that you already know, that let me know I'm going in the right direction. And I want people, can you tell them where can they buy this book at?
Oh yes, you can go to my personal website. It's cmrmotivator.com. The letter C as in the word cat. MrMotivator.com. And or if you can't find the website, you can go to my publisher's website, which is Trafford, Trafford, Trafford.com. And if you can't remember any of those things, you can go to Google. And you go to Google and put in Dwight Jeffrey, Mr. Motivator, Success is an Attitude. Not only will you see my book, you'll see me smiling.
Wow.
Yes,
Now,
and you get to see some of my comedy.
Now, do you remember the night that I called you to be part of the Common Vendor film?
Yes.
Let me ask you this.
It was exciting.
When I called your name up during the film, we had like a short film of Common Vendor.
Yeah.
And the weather was bad, man. I really didn't know what was going to happen later on, man.
Yeah.
But it was amazing how God brought the right people, you know, for the short film. We had a nice audience, and we had the theme inside the old church, like a club, like a nightclub.
Yeah.
But, you know, they did a wonderful job.
Yes, they did.
Set it up, the stage, the lighting, the video photographer. But what I want to ask you, when I call your name, and I say, please show your love for the one and only, all the way from Gilman, Texas. Please put your hands together for comedian Mr. Motivator. And then you heard the people just show you so much love. What was going through your mind when I called your name and they responded at a very, very high cheer when you walked on stage?
I was excited. I felt like this was a dream. You know, I almost felt like, man, do I need to pinch myself to have people smiling and cheering and clapping like that? And the way you introduced me, I never had anyone to introduce me like that before. And I came out, I was ready to give some punches and to do my best to try to bring laughter to everyone.
We know that came from. The effort came from Marvin Milton Smith teaching me, showing me all the steps. And so, not that I elevated, but it was a connection that we had. Not had, but we still together. I mean, you know, Milton, the creator of the Common Vineyard. Remember we gave each other names? That you are the motivator, he's the teacher, and I'm the entertainer. And when you put all three of them together, we all got a story, a testimony. Now, what I want you to do is share with the folks some of the difficulties you're going through, but you were able to overcome it because of who you are.
One of the difficulties I must say that I've had to deal with or that I've experienced, you see, sometimes when you get really good at what you do in life, you excited and you think everybody should be excited for you. But not everyone gets excited when they see that you're excelling, when you've gotten really good at what you do. In fact, it can sometimes often provoke jealousy, because as I began to start moving and developing momentum, when the word got out to fellow co-workers, and I work in the education arena, I was fired from my job with the school district that I worked for when they found out that I had booked. And that was devastating for me. I mean,
and these are not black kids; these white kids. That were crazy about Mr. Motivator. And then the parents didn't like this.
I found out that not everyone wants their kids to be motivated by just anyone.
I want you to hold that thought.
We're
going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring our brother back here so we're all going to have food. But hold that thought. Don't y'all go nowhere. You here behind your mic, and guess what? The Common Vineyard is in the house. You heard me?
Have you ever had a question related to child support, divorce, CPS? Call the Attorney General or maybe an attorney, and they just gave you a runaround. Where do you go to get help? Contact Dads Fathers of Texas. Yes, they are child support specialists. Dads Fathers of Texas can answer your question, help file paperwork, and help find a family law attorney. Dads Fathers of Texas, making child support simple.
Y'all have to excuse me when I get excited, you know, when that good feeling be on the inside of me, I have to say, oh, thank you, Lord, yeah, thank you, Lord. Oh, yeah. That's what I do. You may see me walking down the street like some of those guys, be rapping, you know, not me, I'll be cool, because you know they say what's on the inside of you got to come out. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Hand all spread out. See, I'm from Oak Cliff. See, we walk around with our hands spread out, let it be known. Oh, thank you, Lord. That's what I do. You know. Now, for those who don't know, I am comedian Edwin Douglas. All right, I hope you enjoyed that clip of your boy, comedian Edwin Douglas. We are back here behind your mic, along with my boys, Marvin Milton Smith and comedian Mr. Motivator. Before we went on break, we want to finish this story here about what was going on with the kids. When I asked, they wasn't just black kids, they were white kids. So what took place and how did that change your life?
What took place is that I ended up losing my job, and it was a disappointment for me, because I finally felt like, out of all the jobs that I worked at in my life, in my career, I was more fulfilled having a part with working with students and motivating them and being interacting in their lives.
Because you were motivated students.
I'm sorry?
Because you were motivated students.
Yeah, because I was motivating students and kids, and I discovered me I discovered what part of my purpose is. And it's the greatest thing. It's almost like a fish being taken out of a pond. And someone grabbing that fish and releasing that fish back in the water. And that fish is like, this is my world, my brilliance is going into operation. And so that's the way it was with me. I felt like a fish who'd been out of water, and the fish was placed in water, and it discovered its brilliance, its intelligence, the world where it was created to operate in. And that was a defining moment in my life.
But you see, God bless you.
Yes,
Comedian,
yes,
author,
yes,
minister.
yes,
See, that's
yes,
God.
yes,
You said something about a setback in your book to
Yes.
make a comeback.
yes.
Now, speaking of setback to make a comeback, I'm gonna share y'all something funny. A throwback. This is Dwight Jeffrey, right? Y'all take a look at this right here. Back in the day, throwback. Afro. You know, we talking about one of my things. I be talking about the hairstyle. Yeah, you know, hot comb. You know, Afro scene. Boy, woo, look at that. God,
Yeah, that was-
all that hair. Woo. I remember you. I remember you at Jarvis, Doc.
That was back in my college days at
Ah.
Jarvis Christian College. Now, I know you are a Cap Alpha Psi.
Cap outside
And
the
you
thing
are
incorporated.
Omega Phi Psi?
Omega Sci-Fi.
Omega Psi-Phi? Okay, well, I hung out with the preachers and I became a hacker Phi hacker. Peter stepped back and looked in the water. I was kidding.
Now, Milton. No, you got something crazy back in the day, man. You.
No, I suffered through those years where he was celebrating. My stuff couldn't grow. I couldn't grow a fro, and if you didn't have a fro, like and he had one of them good Jackson 5. If you didn't have one of them good Jackson 5,
Oh, you can see this.
That's a Jackson 5 type fro.
Jackson
I said, you know, my stuff was like that, you know.
ABC.
Who knew?
1, 2, 3.
Who knew that they would make, you know, close as you can get a style? But I'm telling you, I suffered through those years. Yeah, the fro years.
Yeah.
I had a fro. I ain't gonna lie. I had a fro. I had zero curl.
Yeah.
Scary curl, word curl.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I had nappy and happy. I had it all. You know. I ain't had no hair like this.
He had a Jackson 5. That's what he had, the Jackson 5.
I bet you had that pick.
Yeah, I had the
Oh,
big
yeah.
pick, yeah.
The
We got the red and the green.
Yeah.
Right on.
Being televised.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I bet you used glycerin on your hair. That's why you lost all your hair, putting all that grease.
Yeah,
in
it
there.
probably was that glycerin, and I think my grandmother, we got a spanking. Actually, my mother took the Swiss toast because we ran out of the Royal Crown hair grease. And I was trying to be creative. We had to go to a party, and my brother said, "Dwight, what we gonna do?" I'm like, "I know what we can do." And there was they had hot combs, and there was some cooking, some lard, that lard grease. I took some, and we took some of that lard. I put some in my head, and my brothers took that hot comb, and man, boy, we had that for it was awesome. And we left the party dancing, having fun. And this girl said, "Say, your hair." I said, "Oh yeah, I did it myself." She said, "It's white." And I said, "White?" Man, that Lord had turned my hair white.
Tight too.
And it was tight and hard. And so my mother looked, she said, "You have a nice great hair, son. Now what you go do? Now come here." And so,
Cut that out.
yeah, I got
Have any of you guys had a regular car?
um,
A regular car before? What?
to my car Jarvis.
I mean, any kind of car. You ever had a regular car?
Yeah, it was red.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Chevy Impala 1970.
And what it didn't do what it's supposed to do?
I tell you, it was supposed to run, but sometimes it didn't run.
I had a Mercury Monarch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a 79 Mercury Monarch that my dad gave me.
Yeah.
And what was so crazy about that car there, it's summertime and I'm trying to turn on the AC and the heater come on. I put it on the AC and it just be hot. And the winter will come down.
Yeah.
So I had to have a towel, and so when I stop at the red light, get an attitude because everybody else had AC in their car, they chilling and going on. Come on now, go on. Go on, man, hop in the car. You know, what kind of car, regular car? Yeah.
I had a deuce and a quarter, electric 225.
Super fly.
But it was a two-door.
Oh,
And what happened is that I had and the starter was always out on those. But the big problem I had is that the passenger side door wouldn't open. So on the day, you know,
how did they get in? On the driver's side?
Yeah, shit. And the girl, you know, that I went on a date with, they should have been more understanding. I didn't even. That's a big strike. I guess on the setup on later. I'll share this with you. Is that I had a frat brother. He wanted to introduce me to one. He had a little Camaro, a clean Camaro.
Okay.
So we pull up and she has a friend. He wanted to introduce me to her. So we pull up there and he reached under the car seat and he pulled out some smelling, you know. I said, hey, bro, let me get some of that.
What kind of weather?
I know it wasn't the kind he was gonna let me put on and walk in there with him. Oh man, man, I ain't finna let you go in there and be smelling like me. I said, well, it's unfair. You to drag me up here.
But y'all fat?
Yeah, drag me up here. You gonna smell them all up and then gonna bring rusty, crusty. He bounced out. He bounced out. He used me as a bounce off, you know. What kind of wingman, you know?
Now you think this, but my friend Big Mike had this car, and I won the talent. I won the style show at school. Me and this other girl, and I had my big afro, my hat, and it was. And so Big Mike said, "Say, man, you need to ride back to Durham." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, Big Mike, you know, because I won, you know, Big Mike, you know, he was cool." I got Big Mike's car. All of a sudden, a thunderstorm came in out of nowhere. Man, it was raining, and then all of a sudden Big Mike rolled his window down, and he had his hands out there, and I'm looking at him, and yeah, Big Mike looking over at me, hey man, what you just sitting there for? Get your hand out there and fake like a windshield. And so we both had the window down, our hands going like this. Got wet up, full shrunk, but.
Have you guys ever had a job where they mess up your check? Did your attitude, would you ever get mad because they mess up your money?
Yeah, a couple, maybe a couple
And
times.
IRS been taking, you know, IRS been taking money too. That mess up. Yeah. And then I see, you know, I'm like, well, they say, and then you like, it's just, let me call them. I said, yeah, and we just started, you know.
What about you, man?
Yeah, we were at school one time and we were playing and somebody, we turned the water hose on each other.
No.
And so I wet this guy up and he wet me up and my check, the ink just fell off of it. And I couldn't, you know, we were working at school part-time and I was almost ready to cry because they said, oh, we're sorry. We can't cash this. You're going to have to go back to where you got it from. And I was really upset.
But no, I had a whole bunch of my check to mess up because I'm spending. I'm spending to pay a light bill. So I had to call the light bill company. That's how I find out you can't play with them. You can't argue with them. And so I try to come up with a lie. I say, man, they messed up my check. Y'all better not turn my light off. I said, Mr. Douglas, I'm sorry. If you don't pay it by 6 o'clock, we're going to turn the lights off. It's about like 10 minutes till. I said, y'all ain't even do it. Bleep, bleep, bleep. I'm cutting them out. Next thing you know, quit.
Turn you off.
Turn out that one bill I ain't gonna play with. Play your light bill, folks. Please play your light bill.
I used to be a cable salesman, but mainly collect bill collector.
Oh, okay.
That is lady, now I'm there to collect for the cable. You know, Ms. Johnson, according to our record, you have an outstanding account of $65.55. I just want to know, will that be check or cash? She said, well, the lights are off right now, but I sure want to pay my cable bill, so let me get your money. I said, whoa, get the lights on first. And then come back and we get the cable on. You know, the cable won't do you no good if your lights out.
I would have took the money and kept going, Doc. You're just too nice, man.
Yeah, well, you know, because I know that and by building, you got to build every. You can't. How you gonna be in business if you can't help?
You gotta eat, right?
Yeah, I gotta eat, but I want her to. Here's what you want to be able to do. after she got her life back on, I made money off of picking that bill up as a collector.
Okay.
So she started I won't even pay that bill. I'll just wait for Mr. Smith to come pick that up.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes, it was.
You guys had cool jobs. I didn't have a job like that. I worked at this place called Pilgrim's Chicken.
Pilgrim's Chicken?
Yeah, and we had to
I
go
done-
in
I
the
worked-
farm and we had to catch chickens.
Oh, you had to catch a live chicken?
A live chicken. And I didn't know that roosters, they're a little bit more different when
There's a
you
big
go-
difference between rooster and chicken.
Yeah, and I grabbed at the rooster and he just really clawed me real good. And even today, I still have those dreams, those chickens. I can hear them when I'm sleeping. So that was a tough job.
So I didn't know that they cook rooster the same way they would cook a hen.
Yeah,
What's the difference between a chicken and a rooster?
the difference between the chicken and rooster,
Yeah.
there's a couple of body parts that's a little bit longer to cook on rooster. Okay, then some of y'all gonna kiss me.
You know, I gotta tell you the truth. Let's do this, man. I really have a good time with y'all, man. We can go on and on. Let the creator of Comedy Vineyard tell us what we're going on and what's happening, so people can follow us.
Well, this Comedy Vineyard started from like when you come to a Marvelous Milton Smith show, and it's either his Last Unlimited or the Comedy Vineyards. And what the Comedy Vineyards, I think, is that especially with a pastor and a gentleman who does gospel comedy, for me, it created an opportunity. We wanted to be able to not leave anything stone unturned. So that allows us to do more. Comedy Vineyards is more inspirational type comedy, and that we'd be able to bring that to the table. A lot of people say, well, I want clean comedy, I want this type of comedy, you don't use profane language. But the main thing is that as a performer, I want to make sure I know who it is I'm performing before, and it is up to us to try to make them laugh. So if you at your church or any other nonprofit organization, we can bring something to the table.
And we can bring it too.
Oh,
We can bring it. I mean, myself, Mr. Marvelous Milton Smith, also Mr. Motivator. We got 3 different styles. So you can go log on Mr. Motivator. You can log on
MillSmith.com.
And then me, you just Google me, comedian Edmund Douglas, man. I'll just open up the earth.
Yes.
But hey guys, I enjoyed this.
Oh,
You want to say something before we leave? You want to say something real quick?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm really enjoying this interview, but it was my mouth been a little bit sore because I was chewing on a piece of pig foot and I bit down and
Hey, this the Comedy Vineyard. That's what we do.
and the
man.
pig had a coat
This is what we
between
do.
his toes.
This is what
y'all
we
have to
do.
overlook me in this interview.
I don't know why I keep asking him. He ain't gonna tell it right. He ain't gonna tell it right. Hey guys, this is your boy, comedian Evan Douglas, behind your mic. Once again, my special guest, my friend, my family, comedian Marvelous Milton Smith, and also comedian Mr. Motivator.
Yeah.
I'm your host,
The hacker.
comedian Evan Douglas. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
May God bless you.
Have you ever had a question related to child support, divorce, CPS? Call the Attorney General or maybe an attorney and they just gave you a runaround? Where do you go to get help? Contact Dads Fathers of Texas. Yes, they are child support specialists. Dads Fathers of Texas can answer your question, help file paperwork, and help find a family law attorney. Dads Fathers of Texas, making child support simple.